Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Lily. I am so happy that you are here with me today. In today's video, we are going to work on junk mail envelopes because it is my favorite thing to do and I want to share it with you. I am going to take some junk mail envelopes, the kind you get in the mail, and we are going to make a couple more. Actually, not a couple more, just one. We're only going to make one, but I'm going to show you a couple that I've already made. Look at how stinking cute these are. Don't you just love them? I love them. Did you watch my most recent video? It is a flip through of two pink hardcover altered books. And I will link it for you below because if you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it. Go watch it after this video. Go watch it after this video because in those journals, I feature one of these little house envelope pockets in each one of those. And they are so cute. And as you know, if you've been following me for a while, if you are new, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. But I have been including my little envelope. Let me start over. My little house envelope pockets. I include one of these in every single journal that I make. I call them my little signature house envelope pockets. And it's just my thing. And I want to share it with you because if you haven't made any, gather your supplies. Let's make some today. Today is your day for you to make a little house envelope pocket, aka little casitas, because I make casitas too. So isn't that so cute? Can you believe these are made from junk mail envelopes? This would just go in the garbage, but it has so much potential. Why would anybody throw away junk mail? No, we reuse it and we make beautiful little things. And so in today's video, we are going to make one of these, and I am going to show you step by step how you can create one too. And did you know what these are also good for, or how they can be? They're good for everything, but how these can be used. I like to use these as a floating pocket in all of my journals, including the ones I use for myself and the ones that I post in my Etsy shop. But they are also perfect to use in lieu of traditional greeting cards. So you can put a nice little gift card in the pocket. That's why they're called little house envelope pockets, because there's a pocket in there. But you can put money in there, a gift. You can write a letter, a note, a sentiment. So these are perfect instead of a traditional greeting card. And then the back, there's plenty of space so that you can write your own sentiment or a love letter. Yeah, anything you want. These are so nice. And tons of great uses for these cute little houses. They're also great for decor, so they could just kind of sit on your mantle and look cute just the way they are. Anyway, lots of ideas. If you have made these and you have given them as greeting cards, or if you're using them in your junk journals, let me know down below. I'd love to know how you are using the little house envelope pockets. Okay, are you ready to get started? I am going to flip the camera over so that we can get going. So gather your supplies. Let's go. Here is a closer look at my signature little house envelope pockets. So stinking cute. And these were put together from the scraps I had left over from the most recent journal. And then I think it's so much fun to add a nice little surprise into the pockets. And so I've started stamping these images from Stamping Bella rubber stamps, which are my latest favorite. And this one is called Multitasker. Isn't it so cute? And so I just showed you the one that I colored, but I thought it would be fun to include a card, a stamped card into these pockets. And I did that with the little house envelope pockets that I included in the two pink junk journals. But these are so cute, and these are the two extras that I had left over from the ones I made previously. So we are going to make one, and here are some of the scraps that I have gathered from the paper pad that I used. And this is such a beautiful paper pad. It's by the Paper Studio, which is a brand that is carried at Hobby Lobby, and it is
so beautiful and so soft and pretty. And it worked really well with the bright pink covers of the journals. And I had so many scraps left over, and I thought I would continue to create more of the little house envelope pockets. And I'm going to show you the 3 or 4 different types of number 10 envelopes that you can use to create your little houses. I enjoy using junk mail envelopes because it is a great way to repurpose junk. And I collect all the ones that I receive, the solid ones that'll have the printing on it like this one, and also the ones with the window envelopes. And I create all kinds of different things. But my favorite thing to do is to create and make little house envelope pockets. And so I've already cut some off camera, and sometimes I'll do that. I'll just gather my envelopes and get them ready. So when I sit down and begin to craft the little houses, I already have a few that I've prepared in advance. So here is just a plain number 10 size envelope. And the first thing I do is I seal the flap. If you are using a junk mail envelope, well, those are obviously already sealed, but then you'll also have some envelopes that come within the junk mail envelope, and those are great to reuse. And just know that you have to seal the flap because we are making a pocket. When you open your junk mail envelope, try to open it on one of the ends. And so what I like to do is I'll take my scissors and I will open the envelope on the opposite end of the window. So in this case, you have your window on the left, and I will open my junk mail on the right-hand side just by cutting a sliver off of the envelope. And that will create my pocket. I like using these for other projects, and I will have a playlist for you at the end of the video. So if you would like to see how you can create other beautiful paper projects, junk journaling ephemera from junk mail envelopes, stick around to the end and I will link a playlist for you so you can hopefully gain some inspiration from my videos. So thank you. And so these are just the type of envelopes that you can reuse. So don't discard any of those junk mail envelopes. I know some of you don't receive any junk mail, and I know this because of the feedback that you've provided. I will also purchase plain envelopes at the Dollar Tree. And because, believe it or not, there was a time where I had no junk mail envelopes whatsoever. But because you guys are awesome, you sent me a whole bunch of them. And now I have a nice little stash. The little house pocket that we are going to create today, I am going to use a window envelope. And the reason is these tend to come across the junk mail more often than the solid ones. And I have made little houses with the window envelopes, and I leave the window intact. But in today's process, I am going to cover the window. So as you can see, I folded the flap over, and I want to say it's about 2.5 to 3 inches. I honestly don't measure, but if you wanted to measure, I want to say it could be 2.5 to 3 inches, and then I fold that over. Once it's folded over, I am going to cut the sides like I'm showing you here with this one. And I am going to go past that fold line about 1/2 inch. And I don't measure that either. I just kind of eyeball it, you guys, and it works out for me. But I have been making these for a couple years now. But if you want to take a ruler and make sure your cuts are exact, you can mark that 1/2 inch past that fold line. And let me show you why I cut past that fold. I'm going to tug on that flap just very gently, and notice how it stops at that cut. So I've cut 1/2 inch on both sides, and then by pulling that paper over, it's going to stop. I press it down, and now I'm going to cut the excess of the flap, but not up to the edge pocket, only at that fold line. I'm going to leave that 1/2 inch flap because that is going to reinforce that pocket. Remember, it's a little house envelope pocket, so things will be going in and out of that pocket, and I just want to make sure that that edge is sturdy enough for the multitude of times that you will be inserting, your tag, your picture. I want it to be somewhat durable. So I'm doing it again. So I am going to gently pull that flap down to the left, and it is going to stop right where I made those cuts. And I'm going to make sure it's even on both sides and then press it down. And now I will cut that excess. Let me silence my phone because it is going off. Okay. And again, keeping that 1/2 inch flap to reinforce that edge up on top. And now you have made this is the base or the foundation of your little house. And you can see how it is starting to take shape. In other videos, I have left the window, and I have 2 different types of playlists. I have a playlist where I show you how I alter envelopes for little house pockets, but then I also have another playlist where I show you how I alter envelopes and make all kinds of different themes. So 2 different types of playlists. So now I'm going to glue down that little 1/2 inch flap. And guess what I did, you guys? I ordered art glitter glue. Oh, because I love it so much. And I've talked about how I was using Mod Podge by reusing an older art glitter glue bottle that I had. And the Mod Podge is great. But you know what? The art glitter glue, it dries so fast. And all you need is a tiny amount for it to adhere. And the other thing that I like about it is because you're using such little amounts of the glue, it doesn't wrinkle thin papers. And so I caved and I ordered a couple of bottles of the art glitter glue. I will still use my Mod Podge glue, and I'll still use all of the other glues that I have. But you know what? There are different glues for different projects. And I realized that I really love the art glitter glue when it comes time to glue down thin papers. And so now I have a new little bottle of art glitter glue, which I absolutely love. By the way, I do have an Amazon storefront, and I will link that in the description area below. So if you would like to see the supplies that I use, including the art glitter glue and including some of my favorite stamping Bella stamps and other things that I use in this project, the link is down below, and that'll take you to my Amazon storefront, and you can see all the different things that I personally use. I only list things in my Amazon storefront that I have personally used, and only if I love them. And by the way, if you do make a small purchase from my Amazon affiliate link, I do earn a small commission. It doesn't affect you in any way, but I do earn that small commission. And that commission helps me so that I can turn around and order more supplies. And it helps me with the tools that I need in order to be able to create free content for you guys, because I like it that way. I want to continue to create free content here on this platform, and hopefully it inspires you to also, be creative and use what you have to make beautiful things. And if you need to find yourself, or if needing more supplies, then thank you in advance for shopping from my affiliate link. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken some of these scraps and I have just glued it over that window. So pretty simple, right? I wasn't going to do anything fancy with the window envelope other than cover it. And but if you want to see that other video, like I mentioned a moment ago, but how cute it would be which I've done, to leave those windows intact and give the little house the look of a window on the facade, on the front of the little pocket. So you can do that too. That is an option. And I do show you that in other videos. So now I'm just going to paper piece and somewhat collage on the front of this. And I don't cut the papers down. I just fold them over to the back. It's just, for me, it's easy that way. There are some pockets where I leave completely blank. It all depends on what the back of the envelope looks like. In this case, you have some print, and so I am going to cover that print with the scrapbooking papers. But if the envelope was plain and white, then I would probably just leave it alone. Maybe decorate with some pieces of scrappy paper or even some washi tape. And you could see that in other videos where some are plain, some are decorated. It's entirely up to you. So I am now going to line the inside of that flap, but I'm not going to line the length of the envelope, just the top that is showing, and maybe insert it maybe about an inch into that pocket. So I'm going to cut my scrap of paper to the width of that envelope, which is about 4 1/8 of an inch. So I am going to cut this scrap down just a little bit under that because I want to make sure it fits into the pocket. So I think I cut it down to like 4 1/16 of an inch, just enough so it slides into that pocket, and only about an inch deep into that pocket. And I will now line it up to that very top edge. There's no need to line the full length of the envelope because that is not visible. However, had I not covered the windows on the front, then I would be lining the entire envelope because then it would be visible. That's just something that I would have done. But in this case, we're covering it, and I'm just going to line this flap. And again, just a tiny little bead of glue works so well to keep this paper down. And the best part, like I mentioned, is that it does not wrinkle the paper because the amount of glue that I'm using is so minimal. And so as I add the layers of scrapbooking paper, I will maintain the folds on the flaps. And that's because you want to make sure you keep all of those folds because you need that flap. You don't want to lose that crease as you begin to layer the scrappy papers, because we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side, which is now the roof of my little house. I'm going to take another piece of scrappy paper and line the roof portion. But I am going to trim it down just a little bit, only because I don't want to cover up too much of that paper that I folded over on the back. And so I am just kind of eyeballing it, making sure that it's going to fit perfectly. And now I'm going to trim it to the exact width of the roof or the envelope, which is 4 1/8 of an inch. So before you start cutting, excuse me, losing my voice there. So before you begin to cut, measure your envelope, because they are all number 10 envelopes, but I've noticed that they may differ slightly in measurements. Some will be 4 1/8, 4 1/16, 4 1/4. So measure before you begin, especially if you're using junk mail envelopes, because those tend to come in varying sizes. And I only measure when I am doing something like this, where I am measuring the exact width of the envelope, because most times I will just fold over the excess. And then just pressing it down, making sure that that crease is visible, because again, I am going to fold over at that crease so that I don't lose it. I'm kind of in an odd spot where I was working. So the the project is way out in front of me, and that's because of the position that I have my camera. And so I kind of have to I have to really lean in to make sure that I am in camera frame, but that also make sure I'm lining up the papers properly. And I have a very large, it's an old dining table, and it's a square dining table. And so the camera arm kind of sits in the center. And so I'm working, like stretching my arms out in the center of the table. So all I need to do is I need to get a longer camera arm so that I don't have to reach in so far into the center of the table. And so I could see better too. And so my arms will get tired after a while, especially when I'm filming. When I'm working off camera, then of course I can bring things closer to the edge. But when I'm filming, it can get kind of tricky. So I really do need to invest in a new or longer camera arm. So going to do some more paper piecing, only enough to cover the print on the back side. I've also will take smaller scraps of paper and just kind of piece it together over the print so that there is white space left. I don't mind the white space. And I've mentioned this before, where if there is print on the front or the back of my envelope, there's no need to cover the whole thing up. And I've done it to where I will take scraps of paper and only cover up the areas that have the print on them. And especially with the other types of pockets, there are some pockets that I make, you guys, with the window envelopes. Oh my gosh, they turn out so cute. I love those. I'm going to link that video down below. So if you have a ton of junk mail window envelopes, you can create just simple pockets, not just little house pockets, but just pockets with the window. And they turn out so cute. So I will have that linked for you down below. If I forget to mention anything, or if you have questions about anything that I have done or anything that you see on the screen, please leave me a comment, leave me your questions down below, and I will reply to you as soon as I possibly can. And so now that you have all of your papers pieced on the envelope, I am now going to decorate with some washi tape. These washi tapes are by Amity Bloom. I was so lucky to have been able to purchase from her latest release because they tend to sell out really fast. And I just love these so much. They are so beautiful. If you are not familiar with Amity Bloom, she does have a YouTube channel, and she designs washi tape, and she also designs digital printables, and she's just now gotten back into creating journals where she had stopped for a while. And so she's just an amazing designer. Anyway, I love these washi tapes, but I will use all of my washi tapes in all of my projects in one way or another. Now the washi tapes are sticky, but because the edges sometimes tend to lift, I'm just adding a little bit of glue to make sure that those stay down. And I could have just wrapped it all around, but I didn't think about that until after the fact. So I'm just going to continue to wrap that washi tape all around that pocket. And it's just so beautiful. And I'm just using little bits of washi tape here and there. Washi tape is also great for correcting little mistakes that no one will ever know. So if you are working with journals, and let's say you accidentally rip a paper as you're, sewing in your signatures, just fix it with washi tape. No one will ever know. And then it becomes a decorative element. Oh no, I think I've given away my my secrets. But that's how it all started. It all started with me accidentally tearing paper or tearing edges or having to remedy things. And I just started using washi tape for that. And then I realized how pretty it looks as an added embellishment. So now I just try to add washi tape in all of my projects, even when I don't make a mistake. That washi Oh, my voice. I am losing my voice, you guys. It's probably because I don't stop talking. I've had a few comments throughout the years. They don't come by very often, but every once in a while, I will get some people commenting, telling me that I talk too much. And all I can do is laugh, because if you're here and you've been with me for a while, I'm a talker. And that's just the way I am. And I try not to, talk about, I don't know, I like nonsense, or, things that I try to focus more on talking about things that are productive, sharing tips, and maybe some of my personal experience about things that I've done. I like storytelling, basically, okay? And so you all know I am a talker, but some of the comments that come across, they're not very nice. And, they're bothered at the fact that I'm talking too much. And some people will actually say, you talk too much. Why don't you just get to the point? And I'm like, wow. But you do know that you can mute me. I hope you don't, but if you just want to watch what I'm making, you do have the option to mute me, because I do know I talk a lot. That's just the way I am, you guys. Welcome to my channel. I am Chatty Lily. That is just the way I am, and I'm not going to change that. Do you know what I mean? And so if it bothers you, then you can turn that volume down, or you can just skip ahead. That's all I can say. But if you are here and you have the volume on high, thank you so much for joining me in my chatty videos. Oh, I missed telling you about this scrap piece of paper. I have a scrappy box next to my table, and it's just junky papers. This was packaging. I don't remember where it came from, but I loved that embossing design that it has on it. Almost looks like gingham, doesn't it? Gingham paper. And that's just the way it was designed. And it may have, where did it come from? I want to say it could have been like in a cookie box. Chocolate box. I don't remember, but I've had it for a while. And I thought it would be fun to cut it into little rectangles so that I can create a door. But as I was doing it, I thought, wouldn't it make a cute little roof too? So I'm glad I have plenty of it, because after I cut the door out, I thought, wow, that would make a nice roof, because they also look like shingles, roof shingles. So now I'm going to paper piece. So now that I've added all of the washi tape exactly where I want it, now it's the fun part. Well, it's all the fun part, you guys. But as you are creating, you can see how it's coming together, and then you start adding all of your design elements. These are Prima marketing flowers that I have had, and I was pointing that out, since 2010. 2010, I've never used them. And I love paper flowers. I've recently discovered that I have a ton of Prima marketing paper flowers. And so they are now all out on display and visible so that I can use them. And I like having things out in display, but there are still, believe it or not, there are still things that I have not unpacked. And as I go through my things and I find more treasures, I bring them out. I'm getting to the point where I don't fit in my craft area. I've got so much stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm adding like a little garden on the front. And I've just added 3 dots of the art glitter glue. And I am pressing down on these cute little paper flowers. And I'm using this pickup stick only because I don't want to get glue on my fingers. So if I can limit the amount of glue I get on my fingers, I will use whatever it takes to do that. And so now I'm just taking a regular pen, and I am going to draw some stems and then doodle in some little leaves to give it the look of flowers growing in a garden. Isn't that cute? I love how it turned out. The pen didn't do so well over that washi tape, so I went over a couple of times. So if you are going to be inking a glossy surface like this washi tape. It's not a matte washi tape. It does have a slick surface. Maybe a permanent marker would work best. But the one that I created on the right-hand side, I didn't use washi tape. And so you could see the stems and the little leaves that I drew under those little paper flowers. So now I am going to create the look of a chimney on the rooftop. And you can use all kinds of different things to give it the look of a chimney. I have used die-cut hearts. I've also used snowflakes. I've used sunflowers. I've used larger flowers. I've even used, square or rectangular pieces of paper so it looks more like a chimney. But the fun part about this is that you can use your imagination and create outside of the typical elements, your square or your rectangle to create a chimney. It's a lot more fun to use objects or just found items, things that, may be living on your craft table. Pull those in and look at it a different way so that you can create your doors and your windows and your chimneys and things like that. And it just makes it very playful. It makes it a lot more fun. And let your imagination go wild when you're creating these little houses. They are whimsical. They are fun. And I've made all kinds of different styles. I love these so, so much. There is the very first video that I created a couple years ago. And it is titled Whimsical Little House Envelope Pockets. And that was the very first little house envelope pockets that I made. And I share this story with you on how I came about creating these little house pockets. So that's a fun video to watch. And it's the very first one that I did. And you'll actually find that one on my homepage under some of my most popular videos. Oh, I love these little chippy things. They are Tim Holtz, and they are quote chips. That's what they are. And I love these so much. So I have found that I am purchasing these over and over again. I just love them so much. And they are perfect for the rooftops. And I have used these in most of the little houses that I have created, because one of the things that I like doing is adding a sentiment to the roof. It could be just a couple of word stickers, or it could be full phrases. Sometimes it's just numbers. For example, I've done Christmas houses where I've done the number 25 on the roof. But I enjoy adding a sentiment to that rooftop. And these little quote chips are absolutely perfect. And I love the dimension. I love the quotes. Did I say they're by Tim Holtz? They're by Tim Holtz. And I also have these in my Amazon storefront if you'd like to go and take a look at these, and maybe some up-close images so that you can get a glimpse of all of the different and beautiful quotes that are printed on these quote chips. So now I'm going to add a doorknob to my little door, and I'm going to use some of these gems, and I'm going to adhere it with this glue. This is the ultimate glue. This glue is amazing, you guys. And I was pointing out that it is great because it will glue things down like plastic, metal, wood, and glass. It's very similar to like the collage medium that I will also use from Tim Holtz. The only difference is this one tends to dry a little bit faster than the collage medium, but I love the collage medium also because it dries clear. So like I said earlier, there are so many different adhesives, and I use them for different projects. So it's okay to have, 5 or 6 or 10 different types of glues, and for all the different things that you are working with. But this ultimate glue, it is great for metal embellishments and also plastic and glass, and for the paper flowers too. It's a heavier type of adhesive, works really well. Okay, so now I'm going to use some punch outs. And these are some of the punches that I have used to create little designs. And so I used a different punch for the butterflies on the little houses on the right hand side. And I didn't have any more of those at the ready. So I grabbed some scrap pieces of paper, and look at my scraps, you guys. Every scrap has potential. I don't throw my scraps away until it's like paper strings, because I will punch out every valuable real estate in my papers. So I couldn't fit the bird onto that, but I will get a little butterfly out of that little piece. And that is what I do. I know some people think I'm crazy. Why are you saving all those crazy pieces of paper? That's garbage. No, it's not garbage. Look at all the little punches I was able to get from these scrap pieces of paper. It might sound crazy to you, but if you're a paper lover and you don't want to throw paper away, grab your punches, all the little designs, and just punch away. You know, little birds, little butterflies, even things like circles and, you know, little bows. And so I will use up every bit of that scrap paper for elements like this. So I've already punched them out in advance, and I will add some little butterflies to the window. And the window I cut using a scallop circle. And for windows, you can also use anything that you want. It doesn't have to be round. It can be any shape you want. There goes my voice again, you guys. Let me take a sip of my coffee. It's only coffee number 1, so I still have a couple more to go. But let me take a sip. Excuse me for a moment. Okay. So I have used stickers for the windows as well. And just whatever I look around, you know, I look around to see what it is that I have and how I can use it for windows and doors and chimneys and things like that. So I also had some little scrappy ribbons in my scrappy ribbon bag. And even though I did have some of that cute little pom-pom trim left over, I wanted to add some of this gold because I love working with gold elements. And I thought it would work really well with that gold doorknob. The Ultimate Glue is great for, you know, all of those other things that I mentioned. Metal embellishments, plastic, glass. It also works well on trims and fabric. However, sometimes it'll bleed through the fabric and it's tacky, okay? And so I don't recommend it for fabric. And this trim was thick enough to where it's not going to bleed through. So if it's thick, then it's no big deal. It's not going to bleed through. But if you're using thin ribbons or, you know, thinner fabrics, don't use the Ultimate Glue because it will bleed through and it may leave a little tack. Not a lot of tack, but a little bit of a tack. So for trims and fabric, I like to use Fabrifix. How many different adhesives am I using today? There's a whole arsenal of adhesives today, isn't there? So use Fabrifix or Fabri-Tac when it comes to trims and fabric. But again, if it's like a thicker trim, then the Ultimate Glue will work just fine. You guys, this is my favorite. If I had to choose one thing from my entire craft stash, this is it. It is the Heidi Swapp Gold Shine. It is out of production. It hasn't been around for a while. I have a tiny bit left in this bottle, a tiny bit, and I am going to miss it when it's gone. I have used gold watercolor paint and then gold acrylic paint that I've watered down for splatters, but nothing compares to the Gold Shine by Heidi Swapp. Heidi, if you're out there, please bring it back. Please bring back the Gold Shine. I just love the gold splatters, and I can't even unscrew the top anymore. It is sealed shut. So now I have to spray it. And the bad thing about that is when I spray, I get more than I want because I'm trying to save every single drop of it. And I've tried to unscrew it and I just can't do it. So I have to spray it. But you know what? It still looks beautiful. I love the blobs of gold splatter on the front. It is my favorite thing to do. So if any of you know where I can get my hands on some Heidi Swapp Gold Shine, please let me know. I'm always on the lookout. I don't even care if it's a used bottle of it. I'm always on the lookout for some gold shine. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I create my little house envelope pockets. And now I'm just tucking in a little surprise into that pocket, and I will use these in future journals. I sure hope you enjoyed this and you were able to create along with me. Thank you.
Do you love it? Do you absolutely love it? Yes! Of course you love it, or you wouldn't be here. This is so stinking cute. Oh my gosh, I just love it. And in hindsight, I should have probably made all those others that I had on the craft table. I'll get back to that and I'll make them because I still have everything out on my craft table. So I won't let any of those scraps or envelopes go to waste. But isn't that so cute? So I sure hope that you were able to craft along with me. But if you weren't for some reason and you just joined and you watch it, that's great too. I appreciate you being here. But save the video, save it for later so that when you get a chance to gather your supplies, you can also make a few of these great little pockets. Don't they look so cute when they're all together? And you can use your scraps, whatever it is that you have on your craft table just within reach. Add all of those cute little embellishments to the pockets and voila, you've got yourself a little house envelope pocket. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I appreciate you so much. But anyway, it's been a great day today, and you guys are a part of it. You guys are making it greater for me each and every day, and I just appreciate you guys being here. Let's continue to grow together. Guess what my new goal is for this year, you guys? So last year, I was aiming for 20,000 before the end of the year. I made it to 16. On January 1st, you guys, I reached 16,000 subscribers. And it's because of you guys for liking, subscribing, and for sharing this with all of your friends. But I'm going to go big this year. I'm going big and I am aiming high. 100,000. I'm aiming for 100,000 subscribers, and I can do it with your help. So if you like my content, please like and subscribe. I would love to have you here. And so if you are here for the very first time, please join me by subscribing, and if you love my videos, please share them with your family and friends. You guys are awesome, and I will see you next time. Bye.